Hi everyone, my name is James Shell. I am from Impact Initiatives.
Hello everyone, my name is Marina Angeloni. I work for the Global Food Security Cluster.
And the session that we had 5 times today was based on the question of how can we strengthen preparedness and response in urban contexts. So the urban question was our session today, and we had some extremely interesting and insightful reflections. But just to start, I wanted to highlight 3 statistics. 85, that is the number of people, that is the degree that the city of Lagos in Nigeria is growing every hour by 85 people. Now that's both the birth rate and the migration flows. That equates to 740,000 people a year. Huge urban phenomenon. Next, 326%. In the world's low income and classified as vulnerable countries, the urban population in the last 40 years has increased by 326%. So we are seeing the urbanization trend focused in low, middle and vulnerable classified countries. The very last point, 80%. And that is the global GDP, 80% of the global GDP is generated in urban areas. So when you have an urban crisis, the effect is felt globally. So, to our sessions, and you can see the results back here, and I'll be highlighting just a few of the challenges that were shared by participants of working in urban response. And these challenges are both social and physical. So let's look at the social side. In an urban context, it is so complex. You have high density of population, you have extremely diverse population groups, you have what can be classified as invisible displacement, you have a high level of interconnectedness, you have a risk of and a prevalence of urban violence and a risk of, you have a risk of spreading of diseases in much more in urban contexts. And just to listen to the final challenges, spatial, access, housing, land and property rights, what is classified as a neighbourhood, how do you identify affected populations within that neighbourhood when they are so diverse. So I'll stop there, but these are just some of the challenges that we see.
Thank you very much, James. Indeed, I mean, we had so many challenges and so many problems laid out. What we tried to do next was, okay, based on this, what can we better do together as a humanitarian community, collectively, individually and collectively, to better respond to these problems and to better respond to urban crises when they occur. And some of the problems becomes then opportunities in a city. Just to name a few key points that came out, recommendations for the way forward, making sure that we really collaborate and coordinate with local stakeholders. By local stakeholders, we mean local municipalities, city-level municipalities. I mean local NGOs, local community-based, civil society-based organizations. They are the ones that know the context much better than anyone else, than any humanitarian organization coming into that city and responding to the crisis. So we need to make sure to talk to them, to have a dialogue with them, and to be prepared in advance. So have a context analysis prepared, stakeholder mapping prepared, system, power mapping, etc. Other important aspects, of course, we have to think out of the box, and we cannot think sectorally no longer. We have to think multi-sectorally, making sure that we get off our heads our mandates, because in a city, in a complex city that we just saw and we just talked about, there are so many different elements to be considered, and we can really not think sectorially. New partners like private sector, market, supermarkets, market-based actors, IT, technology, engineers, city planners. I mean, these are new people that we all need to consult when responding in an urban crisis. Capacity building, another extremely important element to make sure the city and the actors in that city are well prepared. Technology, I mentioned that already, but the use of technology in an urban city in an urban center is extremely is extremely useful and can provide a lot of information, a lot of access to places that we wouldn't have otherwise. Think of the presence of mobile phones in a city. Think of the connectivity possibilities as well. So this can be used to do needs assessment, analysis, mapping, etc. You know, and other capacity building as well exercises. I think also making sure that we use local resources, we build upon local resources as much as possible. Again, using the local stakeholders to make sure that when we do, for example, a needs assessment, we consult with them. Local universities, sometimes students of these universities are the ones who know the context much better than we would ever think of. So this is just some, in a nutshell, some of the recommendations for the way forward. Of course, we have a long way to go, a lot of things to discuss, but we are confident that with the platform that we have established so far, the Global Alliance for Urban Crisis, the different platforms under the clusters, under the NGO community and UN community, we will manage somehow to address some of those shortcomings in urban crisis. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.